Now that we are finished with the placement matches, I ended up in gold and need to work my way up. From here on out, all the way to upper plat, you can't really be dependent on your teammates. Sounds messed up, I know, but you have to essentially prepare for the worst and hope for the best, because this is the rank that the majority of casuals are in, and potentially stay in throughout the entire season. So don't go into the match expecting top tier communication, callouts, or high level strategies. Setting these realistic expectations will help you avoid disappointment, and maintain your morale during the entire process. Now, if you're lucky and they do know, that's great. If not though, just focus on your own actions and decisions to do your job as a heavy the best you possibly can. Moving with your team, minimize damage, and try your best to be the front line of damage. With that being said, my loadout has to essentially allow me to perform somewhat effectively without the need of teammates. Now, just because you're heavy doesn't mean you don't have to utilize cover. So if you want to increase the amount of engagements you win, maximize the cover provided to minimize as much damage as possible. This may seem weird to a lot of newer players, but throwing the dome shield allows me to not only close the gap, but also negate the damage coming from the opponent, giving me the opportunity to get into the weapon's effective ranges or for a solid winch. Now we finally got the vault to the cash out, time to set up the defense, placing a C4 as well as a barrel next to it. As you can see here, I tried to detonate the C4, but was unsuccessful, and I just wanted to note that using a glitch grenade will deactivate the C4, which was a good idea on the opponent's part, and definitely helped them steal the cash out, showing us the utility and importance for a light to be carrying this gadget, and at the very least have it in their reserves. At this point, I tried to locate the remaining teammate and potentially get an angle, but unfortunately that didn't pan out, and the next best option was to provide cover for my teammate that was trying to steal, in the hopes that the remaining opponent would come out and try to prevent the steal, or retreat and allow us to steal the cash out. What I'm doing here is trying to clear out anything that is blocking my teammates' line of sight, allowing them to optimally defend the cash out from height while I took another angle from the side. If the cash out had around 20 seconds remaining, I would have stayed on height and stalled as much as possible. However, it was practically done, and after landing decent damage with the RPG, I proceeded to go forward and attempt a team wipe while they were still weak, preventing them from recovering and removing the chance of them wiping us and taking away some of our cash. Now this zip line right here is extremely dangerous to use, especially when you're going against a competent team. They will quite literally wait for your team to cross, just like I'm doing right now, then destroy the zip line with 1 or 2 players using it, quickly eliminating them, leaving the opponent at a severe disadvantage, thus forcing them to retreat and reset, or allow us to push for an easy team wipe. It is also a great way to even the odds if you're being chased. Here's something I thought the majority of players knew, but to my surprise, a lot of the teammates I've had like to combine the pyro and gas canisters, which is something you don't want to do because they quite literally cancel each other out, negating any type of stall potential. So if you're going to lay canisters next to the cash out, please use one or the other, gas or pyro, don't combine them. It'll just make stealing for the opponent that much easier. Now we're at the last cash out with pink defending, and if it wasn't for one of my teammates anchoring so that we could potentially wipe pink and bring in either orange or purple, I would have definitely sat this one out and waited till the round ended. With that being said, you'd be surprised how many matches I've lost because of simply wiping. Knowing when and when not to get into engagements is also a skill worth learning, especially for ranked. So for the next round, I kept my loadout, I could move around Soul and close gaps to at least get into mid-range quite easily, and the gadgets I have equipped are still quite effective, giving me no real reason to switch things up. If it's not broken, don't fix it. When pushing the vault at this location, try not to engage the opponent on the first level, making you easy targets for any competent team that decided to engage from height in the opposite building, but instead make your way to height and engage in a position of power, with an ample amount of cover, which unfortunately is exactly what my teammates did not do. Making our way to cash out A, we find out that purple is also pushing pink, which is fantastic because the distraction will allow us to easily pick off each team and attempt a steal while both are weak and distracted. Using my rule of thumb for third partying, always engaging from a distance and never getting in the middle of it.
Weak. Attaboy.
Following my rule from before, I try to keep my distance from both teams and take advantage of the fact they are currently weak, allowing for an easy elimination as well as another steal. Now, third partying may seem quite easy from an outside perspective. However, in order to pull it off easily, you need a coordinated team. Because from my experience as a solo queuer, pulling a third party off with random teammates can prove to be quite difficult. Because more times than not, they like to jump right into the action and get completely sandwiched by both teams that are engaging, leaving us one or maybe even two players down, making it very easy for the winning team to clean us up. So be patient and try to communicate with your teammates to help them position themselves properly before attempting a third party. I'll be honest with you, this is not something you can consistently rely on because again, there is no guarantee your teammates will communicate with you. But nevertheless, it doesn't hurt to try and let them know. Now at this point I realized that staying next to the cash out is not the smartest idea, and taking my teammate's lead, I decide to reposition next to him, on the platform across from the cash out, providing us with a clear line of sight to the cash out. All that is left to do now is to remain at this point of interest and prevent the vault from being deposited while waiting for the cash out to despawn, then right after chucking the vault to the other side of the map, thus removing any possibility of us being knocked out. Now that we've made it to the final round, I decided to switch out the C4 for the healing emitter, also known as Chuck, because in the final round, I'm less worried about stalling and more concerned about eliminating the opposing team, because essentially the final round is team deathmatch, being that there is only one team and you don't have to worry about stalling or defending a cash out if that team is eliminated. I've said in my previous video that patience is a very important skill set in the finals. If we remained on height instead of trying to quickly eliminate the opposing team, we would have easily dematted the ceiling above them and eliminated them. But since we pushed recklessly, the opposing team was able to quickly eliminate us and keep the cash out. For most cash outs in the final round, I'm not too concerned about stalling or defending. I am just waiting for the opponent to reveal their position so that I can eliminate them. I would even go as far as letting the opposing team attempt to steal if there is enough time, because one opponent will be interacting with the cash out, leaving only 2 players that can engage, allowing our team to easily eliminate them, then turning our focus on the remaining player and steal back the cash out, with more than enough time left over. And that's about it for this episode. If you found this video informative, please smash that like button and also subscribe for all things the finals. Peace and love, guys, and I'll see you in the arena.